Hi everybody, this is Jen from Cookies Cupcakes and Cardio.com, and I'm here today with my mom. She's going to be doing some Mother's Day baking with us. She's managed to find one of my grandma's very old recipes that we're going to do for a special treat together in honor of Mother's Day, and they are chocolate dream bars. So we're going to get started. So what you'll need for the chocolate dream bars as far as ingredients go are relatively common staples that you would find in any pantry that has stocked for baking. The recipe is probably from the 50s or 60s. It's quite old. And like as I said, it's from my grandma and my mom's mom. And what you'll need is two different segments. So the first one, what we're going to be making is the base. And for it, you're going to need 3 tablespoons of white sugar, 3/4 of a cup of flour, 1/4 of a cup of cocoa, and you'll need 1/3 of a cup of butter. We're going to put this into an 8 by 8 inch pan and cook it first. But what will go on top afterwards
is the second layer is actually like a butter tart, and it's a cup of brown sugar and 3 tablespoons of flour, 1/2 cup of nuts, and you can use any kind of nuts. We're going to use walnuts today, but you can use any kind of nuts, and 1/2 cup of coconut, and a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of vanilla, and then we put that on top of the base.
So no KitchenAid mixer on this recipe. We're going to use the old-fashioned arm strength, which my mom, I actually for Christmas just bought her a new KitchenAid mixer for the first time. So I'll just say that she's used to having to mix by hand. So Mom gets to do the mixing today. So first step.
Put in the butter into the dish and cream the butter. And it's great if you've had it out softening it, or you can microwave it. And then add the sugar. And cream the sugar in the butter.
Good job so far, good job.
And you could do this in your KitchenAid, but you're right, it's just you get into the habit of doing it the way your mom taught you.
And I just thought when we were getting ready for the video, I thought, you know, using my KitchenAid is quite a big thing, and using a small amount of butter is not a lot.
And then add the flour. Get it to that base consistency, and then we'll add the cocoa.
And what I'll do while my mom is mixing, we've got, like we said before, an 8 inch pan, and I'm going to just, you can either use the wrapper that goes around your butter. I'm just going to use some non-stick spray and get it ready.
I'm adding the cocoa.
So also what we forgot to mention was you need to be preheating your oven at 325. So once we've got this all mixed up, we're going to press it into the pan. And the bottom layer is first going to bake for about 10 minutes. And then you'll need to pull it out and let it sit while we put together the second layer. So we've got it mixed all together. All the ingredients for the base are incorporated. And we're just going to put it into the pan. And does it have to be pressed down firmly, or what do you think?
Yes, you press it down firmly so it bakes a base.
My mom's made the recipe before, so she's the expert in this one. So did you used to bake this with Grandma, or is it something that she just made for you?
Well, it took a while before she would let you have control of the kitchen. At first, she would just let you do the licking, which was fine by me. You could clean everything up for her after she finished. And she was very much into doing things with her hands, but whoops, probably this does need to be done with your hands. But as she became more confident that I was able to do the recipe the same as she did, then...
So a bit controlling.
Yes. Just because she was very successful with her baking. And her next steps would be to press it with her hands to make sure it really got smoothed down.
Okay, so we're going to finish just pressing this down right in to make the solid base. Then we're going to pop it into the oven for 10 minutes and we'll bring it back out and we'll show you the next steps. So we've just had the base layer in the oven for about the 10 minutes that the recipe calls for. I was worried about it being done, but my mom said since that it's going to be in the oven for about 30 more minutes anyways, it's really not that big of a deal at this point. So we're going to whip up the top layer while the other layer is cooling behind us.
So first we're going to just break the eggs and just mix them around. It doesn't have to be beaten, just enough to mix into the others. And then we're going to add, and it's just like what we were talking about, like a...
What were we talking about?
Yeah, what were we talking about? What were we talking about? This is
we're
like
both rather absent-minded. Oh, a butter tart.
Butter tart,
kind of
yes.
like a butter tart layer.
And so we mix in the...
Deliciously chewy, hopefully.
If this is the brown sugar with the eggs, and then we're going to add the flour. Just get the little...
Break up those brown sugar pieces. So Grandma would make this for you guys when, or what would Grandma use
Well,
this
something
for?
that she would take to, in those days they were called PTA meetings, where the parents got together and did things for the school. And also when she had some friends over in the afternoon for tea, so that would be the kind of thing. And then of course we'd get to eat the rest of them for dinner after we had eaten our dinner. So first. So we're going to add the baking powder and vanilla. And again, this smells really good as well. But it is very much like if you make those butter tarts at Christmas time.
Maybe if you have one of those recipes for Grandma, I'll have to try that one out too.
Add the coconut and the nuts. Mix them all together. And then we just pour it right onto, just make sure everything's well mixed, and then pour it right onto the base.
And so these are it's going to go back into the oven, still at 325 for about 30 minutes. So we're going to pop these in, and when they are finished, we'll bring them out and dish them up so you can see what these chocolate dream bars look like. So there we have the bottom and the top layer for the chocolate dream bars. They were in the oven for about 30 minutes and they're nice and browned. And how do they look in comparison with Grandma's?
Looks just like Grandma's used to be.
So what we're going to do now is let it cool until it becomes room temperature. And during this time, what you can do is follow our homemade chocolate buttercream recipe, because that's the icing on the cake, icing on the bar, for the final step for the chocolate dream bars. So we're going to whip that up. We'll be back when everything has cooled and we'll ice the top of the bars and show you what they look like. So we've cooled the bars to room temperature, and in the meantime we whipped up one of the batch of our chocolate buttercream, which, like I said earlier, we've already done a video on that. So I'm just going to put some of it on the top here, and then what you want to do is just spread it around. So you're going to cover the whole top of the bar. And then we'll be ready to slice it up and of course give it the taste test. Since this is something that I've never made before, I'm desperate to try it. And then Mom can give the final approval of whether we did Grandma's recipe justice and if her pickiness for making these bars, if we've done a good job, if she'd be proud of us or not.
It looks like we're on the right track.
Okay, so just cut them on up into whatever size pieces that you want, and we'll do that and show you the finished product. So, Mom, how do the chocolate dream bars look?
They look great.
Okay, final test is the taste test. This could get messy, folks. You eat your own.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Very tasty.
Very chocolatey. Definitely chocolate dream-like. So, thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom, for joining me today, making these special chocolate dream bars from Grandma's recipe. I hope I have chocolate all over my face. They're really good, people.
They are. They're delicious.
So thank you for watching, everybody. Remember to subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Facebook, Google+, and on Twitter. So we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.